My colleague brings up a very good point, and I'll tell you why I think it's such a good point. It's because as the bill was originally put forward, this was quite wide. It was quite wide, and we had major concerns about this. Sir Roger Douglas spoke at length about this. I did, David Cunliffe did, Brendan Burns. Everyone expressed outrage that this could actually occur. And in fact, it was quite a long and robust debate. Roger Douglas became animated. The tax officials were sent scurrying. They came back with a suggestion which wasn't good enough to the committee. They went again and they came back with a whole lot of assurances. But the point that you have brought up, not you, Mr. Chair, the point that the Honourable Trevor Mallard has brought up is very relevant, because what happened with this bill is it went to the Select Committee. Members sitting on that committee had a whole lot of questions about this, So what the members did is they presented those questions to the tax officials, and the tax officials said, we hear what you're saying, let's go out and consult and come back with suggestions. And you know what? The changes were made. The changes were made to this bit of legislation because Sir Roger Douglas, the Honourable David Cunliffe, Brendan Burns, myself and the national members of the Finance and Expenditure Select Committee scrutinised this very robustly. And we said we have the same concerns that Trevor Mallard has brought up. We have exactly these same concerns. So it was altered. And Mr. Chair, that is what the Select Committee process allows. That is what it allows. It allows bills to be scrutinised with other eyes, with different eyes, and to make the changes necessary. Now, Mr. Chair, one thing I would like to talk about is the new subclause 10, Part 2, that I tabled with regard to zero rating the supply of fresh fruit and vegetables. Mr. Cunliffe actually asked a very interesting question to our Hinere. Is he a fruit or a vegetable? Some say he's a fruit. I suspect he's a vegetable, but that doesn't really matter. The bottom line is I don't think he's a fruit. This is quite easy. This is quite easy to ring fence and clarify. People said, well, what about the lettuce in a McDonald's hamburger? Well, that is pretty obviously not covered because it has been processed to one way, shape or form. You cannot put a huge, big, fresh lettuce between two buns and not call that processed. It is a very easy distinction to make. When a member goes in, when any New Zealander goes into a supermarket, if you can see a fresh apple in unprocessed form sitting there, it has been processed. If you go and you see a can where it's got apple quarters and syrup, that has been processed. It is pretty simple. That is why we have drafted it like this, Mr. Chair, because it is very much a common sense piece of legislation. It's very much a common sense amendment that we were asking the Minister to include. And I would like to ask the Minister first of all, I would like to ask the Minister to let us know whether he will support this or not, because it is common sense, Mr. Chair. It is very much a common sense piece of legislation that will help all New Zealanders from the cradle to the grave. From the cradle to the grave. Because it is about providing them with cheap options to allow them to live a healthy lifestyle. And we all want that. At the moment, the only group that is leading the healthy lifestyle charge is the private sector. As my colleague Brendan Burns mentioned, the Honourable Tony Roll turns up at a supermarket that is actually promoting healthy lifestyles. Well, why can't the government be seen to be promoting healthy lifestyles? Isn't one of our roles to send signals out to the public about what we believe is right? Isn't it part of our role to actually do what's right for the people of New Zealand? Well, this is right for the people of New Zealand. It is right for the people of Christchurch. It is right for the people of Waikato. My friend, the Honourable David Bennett, says that the people of on the Finance and Expenditure Select Committee, says that the people of Waikato are suffering because of a drought up there. I heard a man last night saying, we want some special assistance. All that will do is to provide vegetables, he said fruit and vegetables, on the family table. That's what the South Waikato farmer said. This will help. This will help that South Waikato farmer. this supplementary order. So I urge the minister to support this. Thank you very much.